What's up, internet? Are you ready for this? Sometimes you just have to own up to your mistakes. So recently I just did a brake job on the '88 Buick Electra and everything was fine. It turned out well, but a few days later, as I was driving to work, going on an off-ramp off the highway, my front rotor on the driver's side started clicking a lot, and turns out the bolt that I discovered was stripped out during the install. Well, it probably came loose and now it's scraping up against the rotor and the rim. So I made it to work, had a great day, but then I had my girlfriend come pick me up because I did not want to drive it home like that. It probably could have made it home without the wheel locking up, but I did not want to risk that. So I took a gamble with putting the brakes back together, and turns out I lost this time. So I am on my way to grab a car dolly, and we're gonna head down to my work and we're gonna tow it back home. We just put a trailer hitch on the ambulance about a year and a half ago. I have pulled a trailer with it before, but I've never pulled a car as heavy as mine behind it. So this is going to be a great true test, short distance, of the ambulance hitch system. I know the lights work, I know everything else works, but I've never towed something quite this heavy. So we're going to head to the U-Haul, pick up a trailer, and we're going to go grab my car. What's up, guys? It's a few days later. Parts have arrived for the thread repair. We're going to be using a Helicoil thread repair kit. This is for a M11 by 1.5 millimeter size for this caliper bolt. So, got the car towed successfully behind the ambulance. We are back in my garage, and now we just need to jack up the car and get the wheel off and expose that caliper. So let me first preface by saying I'm not 100% certain as to what caused this issue. As I was driving it to work a few days ago, front brake over here was making a lot of clicking noises and grinding noises as I was going down the road, and especially when I was braking. I am 98% certain it was that stripped guide pin bolt coming loose and rattling around in there and allowing the caliper to move. But this is the very first time I'm taking off the tire and seeing what happens, so you'll see it as I see it. Okay, let's take a look, see what happened. So I can definitely see why this happened, why this is kind of like this. Obviously, this should not be able to rotate in that axis. I mean, the wheel is off, but it should be a lot more firm than that. And, well, as I suspected, this bottom one, yeah, not even threaded into its hole. And that was to be expected. This hole was stripped out. I didn't know that. I tried the thread locker on it, did not hold. So that was quite obvious. But Turns out that this top one also came loose and stripped out its hole. This one was tight when I put it on. I'm assuming the torsional forces pushed it. When this one came loose, it broke that one too out of its hole, stripped the threads. So yeah, these are both loose, and that's why it was doing what it was doing. Obviously not good to drive on like this, and this is kind of why I towed it home. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was not quite right, and I didn't want to risk it, and it's a good thing I didn't drive it home. So we can basically just pull this caliper right off here since it's already loose, and we can repair those threads. Looks like I'm going to be repairing 2 threads instead of 1. I have more than 1 insert, that's fine. Looks like this job just got a little bit more time consuming, but let's get started. So whenever you take a caliper off, you want to use a bungee cord or some sort of hanging device and make sure it hangs so you're not putting pressure on this flexible line right here and putting a lot of tension on it and potentially ripping it or tearing it or damaging it in some way. So I'm going to be using this bungee cord here. So this should just lift off. Yep. That should not be like that, and that's what we're going to fix. I should have had to take out those bolts, but they took themselves out. So then what you're going to want to do is put your bungee cord through here. So I have it hung up now, like that, up on the shock tower. So let's pull the rotor off. And it doesn't look like the rotor was damaged in any way. I don't see any scoring or marks, so that's good. We can reuse that. Okay, so the mounting bolts are right here and here. So just to confirm that these are indeed stripped out, I have a brand new caliper bolt, and let's try to thread that in there. Okay, that's not too bad on the top one. I'm not sure why that one came loose actually. The threads seem fine, maybe a little loose, but nothing terrible. Though the threads do look pretty smashed. Yeah, you can definitely tell on this bottom one, I should not be able to just push a fastener right through that threaded hole. So that one definitely needs to be replaced, fixed, rethreaded. This top one seems fine, but it also is a bit wiggly. Yeah, this bottom one is just gone. So we'll just do this bottom one for now. If we have issues later on. These are technically just supposed to be pins, guide pins. They're not actually cinching down on the caliper. I mean, that is relatively loose. I might just go ahead and redo that one too. So I would say both of these need to be rethreaded. So to do that, we're going to be using a Helicoil thread repair kit. And this is the full kit. Comes with inserts, a insertion tool with little rod, and then the rethreading tap. Now you will need to buy your own drill bit. In this case, I'm using an M11 by 1.5 millimeter thread repair for these caliper bolt pin locations, and you will need a 29/64 drill bit. It says there right below this plastic piece right there in the white. I will link this in the description if you are doing a very similar repair. So the main thing for this repair is you first drill out this hole to a larger size. You then tap it with this tap to a new thread, and then you install these coils, newly tapped threads, and then that brings it back down to the original size, in this case M11 by 1.5. It doesn't say in the instructions to use any thread locker, but I'm going to be using red thread locker on this coil here just to make sure it never backs out again and it's a permanent repair. So let's get started. So like I said, this repair uses a 29/64 drill bit. Don't just assume you have this drill bit size for your particular application. I mean, if it's 1/4, then you probably have it, but a size like 29/64 I didn't just have lying around, so I had to go buy that. So I got my drill bit and my drill. We're going to be using a cutting fluid. We're using Tap Magic Ep.3 cutting fluid. Seems to work pretty well. Okay, after a bit of difficulty, the hole was drilled. Now we can use this tap here to cut new threads into our now cleanly fresh drilled hole. We'll be using more cutting fluid, of course, and we'll be trying to run the tap in straight for a good repair. I would be using a tap wrench, but these studs are in the way, so we'll just have to keep making do with this wrench, which is a 5/16. And I'm gonna hit this hole with some compressed air as well as the tap. Okay, as you can probably see now, there are really nice, good threads cut into there. So this part is not specifically recommended by Helicoil in their instructions, but I am going to be using some red thread locker. This is the high strength version from Lock Permatex. This is just going to hopefully keep those new threads from backing out ever. Once you have your newly tapped hole, use a little helix repair like this, and the inside diameter of this is the M11 by 1.5. So this threads into this hole down here. You take this special tool and it comes apart like this. So what you want to do first is thread on your repair insert onto the end of this tool, and the end of this tool has a little catch for that little metal post sticking out at the bottom, so it catches that. Thread it on there. Then you use this, you insert it through this, and you thread it. This bottom portion of this black piece is threaded, so you thread the entire thing through that until it's just barely poking out from the end there. This little guy helps you install it cleanly and smoothly. So now I'm going to take some red thread locker, get it all up in these threads. Perfect. And then we can begin threading this into the hole. Now, since the bolts go in from the opposite side that you're looking at, I'm going to be threading it in from that side. And there you go, brand new threads. So we can verify that our repair is successful by threading in one of the caliper guide pins, and indeed threads in real nice, very strong, feels like a factory threaded hole. So that's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and do the top portion. I don't need to show you that, it's gonna be the same exact process as this bottom one, so we'll come back when I'm done with this top one. Alright, as you can see, both caliper guide pins, threaded holes are now repaired. So that's how you repair a threaded hole with a Helicoil insert kit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this caliper back on and verify that the repair has been successful. All right, so I can actually tighten both of these caliper guide pins down all the way. That feels really solid. I think our job is done. So if you like automotive how-to videos just like this, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. I know we're small and budding right now, but we could really use your support. Love to have you here. By the time this video is posted, we should have a rev kit for this car and the ambulance on this channel. So go ahead and check those out. If you don't know what RevKit is, it's basically like a little social media platform for Jeeps, off-road vehicles, and basically any sort of automotive application. Mostly Jeeps though. So check us out on there, follow the channel. Like I said, it really helps us out. We would love to bring automotive tips like this to the masses. So thank you all for watching, and this is Bread to Loaf signing off.